It's easy to see why most dealers passed over this cheap Corvette at auction. A quick glance at its yellowed headlights, dull bumper, and 250,000 miles on the odometer make it look like it belongs more in a parts yard than on a sale lot. But this loaded Corvette convertible, which costs literally 75% less than the average C6 of its year, is way better than it looks on the surface. This car was listed at auction with a dead convertible top and an engine misfire. When we got it home, we found a cracked coil connector and a bad window regulator. And in just a few hours, we refurbished the worn leather components and replaced the bad window regulator with a new part from Rock Auto, which brought life back to the convertible top and gave the interior a fresh look. Today, it's time to make the outside look as good as the inside and tune things up to make it last as long as one more trip to the moon. All of this will be done at home over a couple days and on a super budget. So far, we've only spent about $500 to fix up the interior, and as we go along, I'll be tallying up all the costs of this project so you know how much it cost all in to restore this Corvette. Before we change the fluids, because this has some higher mileage on it, I'm going to use this engine flush, and so this is just going to help clean up where there's any deposits or anything like that. What's smoking? Oh, you know what it is. So the filler neck here is obviously a little loose, and it let some of the engine flush just fall down. And see what it does? It basically just eats through any sort of like built up oil inside the engine. So we'll run it for like 10-15 minutes before we drop the engine to get everything warm and to clean everything out. But I've used this stuff in the past, and it makes the oil look like really dirty when it comes out. So I kind of like it, and just considering the mileage on the car, it's like cheap insurance. Here's the oil filler neck right here, and you can just see all the grime all around it, the gasket. This thing just needs one heck of a cleaning. Let's go. Let's start taking this all apart, see what's inside that engine, and get it all cleaned up. Really nothing here to see. Everything looks really good, really pretty clean. Obviously we cleaned around the edge where we're going to be installing our new valve cover gaskets on the valve covers. We also cleaned the insides of the valve covers. And of course I wanted to take a look at these spark plugs here, which look pretty good. I'd imagine that these were replaced at one time in their life. We're going to replace them again right now either way. But one of the quick things I wanted to show you guys, if you're doing valve covers on your car, here's one of our ultra power valve cover gaskets, one of the new ones. You always want to take a look online, see if there's a DIY or see if there's a workshop guide, because sometimes there's a little break in the gasket or a little area where the gasket doesn't really meet on the cylinder head. So what they suggest you do is use a little bit of RTV in certain corners or certain areas. If you look at this LS motor, it's about as simple as it gets. It's one really big oval, the cylinder head here. So I don't think we're going to need any, but I'm going to double check online and make sure before we go and set these in place and reinstall everything. But how many times have I said it? For 250,000 miles, this car is really amazing. Now, every new item that we'll put into this Corvette, except for the headlight lenses, even including things like engine oil and the window regulator, were ordered at Rock Auto. They have an incredible catalog for the Corvette, and I haven't found any other place that offers a lower price on pretty much anything. When we were working on my Aston Martin, I showed you this cool trick where you can sort by your car's clearance item on their site and find parts for your car that are literally a few dollars. For my Vette, they currently have a serpentine belt for $1.71, a set of brake pads under $8, and these name brand air filters for just $2. Now, another thing that could save you a good bit of money, be on the lookout for parts branded Ultra Power. This is Rock Auto's in-house name for parts that they've bought by the truckloads as closeouts and that they're wholesaling to you. So like the valve cover gaskets we're going to install here in the Corvette are Ultra Power gaskets. They cost a third of the price as the ones at my local auto parts store, and they look virtually identical. They could be the same thing. So make sure you check out Rock Auto at the link in the description. They partner with me on this video to provide you an additional discount on anything you buy on their site. Just type in C6 Vette at checkout, and again, I'll drop all that info in the description box. We got fresh valve cover gaskets, fresh spark plugs. We cleaned everything up. This is ready to go back together, but when we were pulling off our coil pack wiring harnesses here, you could see pretty much every single tab broke off, and this one, the connector itself, broken to pieces. These are old, these are plastic, these have gotten very hot over time, and they very well could be the originals, but Chevy, in all their wisdom and knowing how long LS engines run, they make this portion right here separate from the main wiring harness, something I don't see a lot on the European cars. which is really nice because you can run out and get these. They're relatively inexpensive at around 70 bucks a piece, and we're going to replace these. These should last another 200,000 miles. And just for the heck of it, since they're inexpensive, I went and I got an entire set of brand new coil wires. So the ignition system is going to be brand new in this car, and it should prohibit any of those misfire codes from coming back because of a weak or loose connection. Just considering the miles, I was really kind of curious to see what the oil looked like. I've got this in direct sunlight, and you can see there's not a single speck of glitter anywhere, which is a really good sign. And again, considering the amount of miles on the car, considering how good a condition it came to us in, it was probably serviced pretty regularly. So the Crackstone Labs analysis test has come back positive. We're going to go ahead, button everything up. We'll put oil back in it, full synthetic, and we'll flip it around. We're going to check the rear and just make sure there's no massive leaks or anything. We want to keep this car running for another 250,000 miles. All right, so we put the car in reverse on the ramp so you could get a good look at the rear end, and it's just amazing, the condition of everything in here. I thought I'd see at least one worn suspension bushing, one torn CV boot. The Aston Martin we just did, it has 50,000 miles on it, had a torn CV boot. Mind you, it's had probably a little bit of a rougher life. I mean, things that just wear out simply, like these end links. This is all perfect. Everything in here is super nice. The bushings all look fresh. And how about the trans? The trans pan you would expect to have a little leak to it maybe. Nothing. It's perfect. Now, in the history report, I do recall them saying that this car had a full transmission rebuild around 150 or 160,000 miles. And even though I've been actively using this car, I continue to be impressed by it. It's incredible, the condition. Again, I'm going to say, considering the miles, I don't think I've ever seen anything this clean, even over 100,000 miles. So this is just amazing. Now, one thing I have noticed as I've been driving is every time I go to start it, it does have a bit of a weak crank. I've tested the battery more than once, and it continues to test really good, actually. So I'm going to guess that it's got a weak starter. We'll get under there and we'll pull it out. And I ordered a replacement one because it wasn't all that expensive. So let's go ahead and swap it and see if it makes a difference. Starter is real simple to get to on this car. We got the oil pan right here. It's sitting right there. And it's only secured in with two 13mm bolts, so pretty simple job. You can see all that rust and corrosion on the outside. So this one's been here a while. It'll be good that we're refreshing it. Help keep this car as solid as it's already been. So the keys are in the frickin' car. And right now we're trying to just get in to start it after everything. Hitting the button on the door, trying on the other side's not working. So I'm gonna try and fish them out. Let's see. This tool is getting a bit floppy though. Come on, come on, come on. Oh. Okay, now we go slow. This is the greatest tool, claw tool. Let's see. Okay, hold on, I'm putting the claw out now. Gotta get it a little closer. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh, come on. Hold on, here we go. Here we go. Oh, right there, right there. Claw out. Grab. Don't drop. Oh. All right, now this is the next part where we can't drop. We gotta pull the window back. Oh no! Damn it all. All right, hold on. We're gonna get him again. We're gonna get him again. This is really stupid. This is a, hold on. Will the door open? Are the keys closer? No. Don't ever leave keys in a Corvette. This is the second time I'm having to do this, not on this car, but on my white Grand Sport. When they delivered it, you know, the auction zip tied the keys to the car. Let's see if we can get this. Sage, you fixed the leather interior on the other side. I'm trying not to poke a hole on this side with the claw. Here we go, come on. Okay, we're not gonna grab it by the, we're only gonna be able to get it by the keychain here. All right, here we go, come on. Yeah, now, this is the tough part right here. Hold on, get your hand in there, Sage, and see if you can get a finger on those keys so that I don't hit them. We're gonna have to.
Okay,
I got him. I'm gonna let. Okay, we both got.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm gonna. You got it?
Yep.
I got it too. Hold on. I got the key up. Come on. Come on. Woo. All right, there we go. There we go. All right. Let's see now. Now unlock.
There we go.
Ridiculous. What the heck is that? Do you think there'd be like a fail-safe? There usually is a fail-safe, but okay, we're in the car. Everything's put back together. Let's start it up and see how it runs. It should be pretty good now. Everything's brand new. Now, with the new starter installed, check this out. Sounds much, much healthier. This is one of my favorite things to do on a budget restoration to make a car look amazing, is to restore the plastic trim panels. Now, there's a lot of products that will just add a lot of gloss to these trim panels, but that only lasts a few months before they look just like this again. What I've got here is an actual plastic dye. It's Eastwood's plastic resurfacer, and I love this stuff because it's as simple as cleaning your old plastic trim like we've done here and spraying. Look, check this out. And no, this isn't like black spray paint. This is actually like a trim dye that will go in and it restores, it resurfaces the plastic, and it literally will make it look brand new for a few more years again. After installing all the new parts and refreshing the gaskets, we degreased the entire engine bay, cleaned off the engine covers, and then applied a layer of Armor Shield 9 ceramic to all the plastic pieces. I like this stuff specifically in the engine bay as it creates a non-stick coating which makes cleanup in the future much simpler. Once the body of this Corvette is all polished out, we will also be coating the entire car, which you'll see in just a few minutes. But if you are interested in a very cost-effective DIY ceramic coating for your car, make sure you check out Armor Shield 9 at the link in the description box and use my name, Sam Crack, at checkout for $25 off a single bottle. And you see how good the front bumper looks with the water on it. So it's going to be really interesting to see if we're going to get away with just a compound on this, or if we're going to have to actually go and pull the bumper, respray it. Either way, it's no big deal because it's a base black, no metallic. But, well, here, Sage, if you wouldn't mind, just dry it off right now. We'll do a little test spot. You see what I see?
Yep, the gloss coming back.
I can't even believe this. I'm really surprised. Dude, I am really surprised. Look at that. So, that is not the most appropriate way to do things. I've got a smaller 6-inch pad and wheel somewhere, and I just couldn't find it. But I think we're going to have to repaint this thing. I think it's going to polish out, and it's going to look darn good afterward. The yellowed hazy headlight lenses are a common issue on these old C6 Corvettes, and they make a lot of aftermarket lens kits so you can refurbish yours. I baked these off last night. Now, originally when I did this on my old C6, I used a heat gun and it was miserable in the oven. 10 minutes later, these things literally pop right off, and look how nasty and hazy they are. We're gonna get rid of those, and our headlight is going to look brand new. Now, I've got the plastic wrap still covering things here, but here's one ready for assembly. All we've got to do is add a little bit of adhesive into the channel here, glue it, and then seal it with some silicone. It should be ready to put back in the car. spent a good amount of time trying to polish this bumper, and while it looks way better than it did before, you can still see the top parts of it are really dingy. It's got that dulled clear, and that's not going to go away without us repainting it, and that's exactly what we're going to do now. We're going to just respray this bumper, which should be a pretty straightforward task since we're not changing the color of it, and the bumper itself is in really good shape. There's no cracks, there's no major paint damage, so a quick scuff with some 600 grit and we'll be on our way. Now, if we took this to a body shop, it would cost probably around $500 to $600 just for a respray. And I want to show you my super easy setup that's really cost effective and show you how we'll spray this thing with professional results for like 30 or 40 bucks. DIY paint at home can be really difficult when you're not painting in a super clean environment, but if you're just doing a single panel like we're doing a bumper here, you can definitely do it. And if you've got a basic color like we have the black on the Corvette, let me recommend to you that you pick up some of this. This is JE Shopline, which is a basic single stage enamel paint. Now, a lot of people hear enamel and they think, oh, it's cheap, it's bad. It is definitely cheap. This quart of paint was only a little bit over 20 bucks. If this was not an enamel paint, it would cost upwards of $60, $70 for a quart. The trick to getting enamel good, at least in my experience, is using some of this. This is high gloss enamel hardener. This is optional. You could just shoot this paint by itself, reduce it a little bit, but I love adding this stuff because it makes this paint so much harder, so much stronger, and it makes it a lot glossier. And like I said, it's a single stage. So you'll only lay down a couple layers of paint and then it's done. No clear coat goes over this. You're gonna see it's gonna match and it's gonna look really good. The gun I'll be using is this right here. This is an Eastwood Elite. This is one of their nicer guns, but I'll tell you, you can achieve really good results with one of their basic guns. The gun is not as important as the material you're using and as the painter. Even though I consider myself an amateur, this is the easiest setup I've found, and I can almost assure you, you're gonna like the way this turns out. All right, our black bumper is all scuffed up. The nice thing is we're painting black. It's always been black, and there were very few little marks that we just had to touch up with some primer. I had black primer, so you can't even see where I put it, a little bit where the emblem was and a little spot in that corner there. Got our single stage ready to go. Mix it with a little bit of reducer, a little bit of hardener, and we're turning a black bumper black again. So we let this bumper cure for about 2 days and just check this out. For a single stage paint, man, this is going to work perfectly. Looks so glossy, so beautiful. The only problem I foresee is it looking better than the rest of the car. Talking about the rest of the car, Sage has got the headlights, the refurbished headlights all mounted up, and we're about to go do a front end assembly. This thing's gonna look brand new. when I initially bid on and won this Corvette for $8,000, I didn't think much of it, but it's quite possibly become my favorite of the year. It's just such a tremendous car, tremendous value, and I'm a big fan of Corvettes. And if you like the restoration of our C6 project, be sure you hit that like button. Now, I always give a comprehensive breakdown of what these builds cost me, and this one's fairly simple. Like I said, the car was $8,000. My bill at Rock Auto was right around $950. A bottle of Armor Shield 9 is $50. Now, it's the same exact price anyone would pay as long as they use my discount code, and of course I am guilty of using my own discount code. Now, I did have to run out and get those wiring harnesses and coil wires. Those in total were about $200, $75 for each set of wires, and then $50 for a set of 8 wires. So another $200 there, that's $1,200. And then, okay, the headlight lenses, that was another $100. Last is the paint. Like I said, a quart of enamel was only like $20, $25. I had the hardener already. If you had to buy that, figure it would cost you another $25. So about $50 for paint. All in, this car was under $9,500, which is a tremendous value. I've had 2 of these Corvettes before. Each one of them have had less than 1/10 the amount of miles of this one, and I swear to you, this one drives just as good. All this work was done over 3 days very casually in a DIY fashion, stuff that you could do at your own home. So let me know what you think about the deal for this Corvette, all in at, again, around $9,400, $9,500. Do you like it? Do you not? Let me know in the comments. And really quick, if you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that button below, because the next project coming up here, well, cost me a whole lot more than $8,000, and I'm hoping that I get as excited about it as I am about our cheap Corvette. But usually really expensive cars require really expensive fixes. But again, if you subscribe, when I come out with that video, you'll be notified. And if you're not already following me on Instagram, where I provide updates and I show you sneak peeks of the new cars coming to the channel before anything goes live here on YouTube, well, just follow me right here or click the link down in my description box. Guys, I gotta thank each and every one of you for watching today, and I'll catch you very soon.